everybody, Austin here again, back with another Let's Play walkthrough, this time of Ninja Crusaders for the NES. This is a game I actually just recently learned for the first time, and I actually just learned of its existence just a couple of months ago. I was browsing the Video Game Sage web forum, which is mostly a retro gaming forum focusing around Nintendo stuff, but they talk about a lot of other stuff too. And there was a thread about this game, talking about its various qualities, its length, its challenge, things like that, its similarities to Ninja Gaiden and Shadow of the Ninja and whatnot, and really felt like I had to play it, and so I did. I fired it up, and then later that night I ended up beating the game for the first time on Twitch. Kind of had to brute force my way through the game because there is a lot of memorization required in this one. It's not a very long game. With using certain exploits, it could take you about 20 minutes to go through. But some of the later levels in the game in particular are very challenging, and you really have to know where enemies spawn, how to deal with them, so on and so forth. And if you don't do that, you're going to struggle. A big part of that is that it's one-hit kills in this game. It's not like Ninja Gaiden or Shadow of the Ninja where you have health bars. It's one-hit kills and you're right back to the very beginning of the stage. So yeah, it can be a little tricky to learn, but thankfully this game does have infinite continues. So you can just brute force your way through the game, learn the patterns and so forth like I did, to get yourself through it. Once you learn the game, you get a decent route down. It's a pretty fun game. I do enjoy it, and I'm glad I fired it up, and I'm glad to be able to show you guys through the game and give you some tips and strategies and stuff like that. So if you're new to this game, thinking about trying it out, you know, watch this video. I should be able to give you a good amount of tips and strategies and things like that to help you on your first playthrough. And, you know, for people that maybe played it when they were younger and they're revisiting it and they're rusty, maybe this video can help you out, getting you back up to speed as well. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to go through the whole game. We are going to use some exploits. They're not cheats, but there are some gameplay mechanics in this game that are kind of broken and unfair. But fortunately, we can only use those in the early part of the game, so we still have to play the late part of the game, which is the harder part normally. So, but yeah, this is a side-scrolling action game. You can basically move left or move right. You press B to attack, just like so. And you'll notice that you actually start off with this throwing star right here, which goes all the way across the screen. What I found is a lot of new players actually like to use this as a crutch. I don't recommend it. If you're going to use a crutch, use the chain whip right here. The chain whip doesn't go all the way across the screen, but it's more powerful than the throwing star. It's just a good all-around weapon. It's a good middle-of-the-road kind of weapon, and I definitely recommend starting with this on your first playthrough. Don't rely on the throwing star. This guy right here is actually a spear, and we're not going to be using that. Or maybe not a spear, it might be a staff, but we're not going to use it either way. It's very powerful, but it's also very short range, and I really only recommend that for expert players that just want to challenge themselves. And that's one thing I like about this game, and one thing I've come to appreciate about this game is that you do have different weapon types that give you a different gameplay experience. And so there's a lot of replay value, like, oh, I want to challenge myself today. Let me play through with just the sword, which you see up there. And ironically, I can't actually get, but there's actually a good cheap way to do that. But one mechanic I wanted to demonstrate is that if you pick up another weapon of the same type, you earn an extra life. So you notice that in the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, it showed I got an extra life. But to get this sword right here, what I can do is hold down the B button, and by holding down the B button, you can transform into an animal form. And the animal form is actually based on the weapon that you have. And so for the chain whip, it's this scorpion. The scorpion's unfortunately not very good on land. He's mainly only good for water, which actually comes up right now on stage 1-2, the watery grave. But I picked up the sword for a reason. This allows me to change into a dragon. And the dragon is insanely broken in this game. You are completely invincible. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this chain whip right here as well. You can also fly right through walls that you normally would not be able to go through, even in ninja form. And so you can literally just turn into the dragon and hold right until it wears off. And what it usually does is it wears off right about here. And so I like to just kind of sit here, kill this guy from behind, and then just move my way back through the rest of the level. Now you'll notice a lot of these turret guys are just on timers. It's very simple attack patterns. So if you're trying to kill them, just wait for them to shoot and then get in front of them and attack just like so. Very simple stuff. But all right, we're on to our first boss here. So what I want to do is smack his face just like so, and then wait for his projectile to fire. His projectile, like the other turret enemies, also fires on a timer. So just kind of wait for it to come out and then jump over it just like so. Now, his projectile will target you if you're in the air, and so that's why you kind of want to wait for it to come out first and then jump. If you jump before it comes out, it'll target upwards, and you have a good chance, or a great chance, I should say, of running into it. And again, it's one-hit kills in this game, and so you can die very quickly. So we're going to exploit the dragon again here, but what I want to do is kind of let this guy get pushed over to the right-hand side. This game does have Ninja Gaiden syndrome, where the enemies will just constantly spawn in, depending on where you are on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my dragon right now, charge up, and boom, just move over like this. Just hold right. Look, one hand. So, now you can fire with the dragon, which is probably good if you're trying to play for score. I'm not playing for score, I'm playing for survival. I'm going to come down here and get this chain whip, and then just continue holding right, just like so. And if you reach the end of the screen with the dragon, and you go off the screen, you will technically end the level, just like so. But I'm back with the chain whip. Again, the chain whip is my preferred weapon, and what I like to do on this first part here is just keep moving over to the right, take the top route, destroy the enemies as I see them, get an extra life there because I picked up another chain whip, get into this little corner here, and then just sit here. Just wait. These gray gunners on this level, they'll just kind of flutter their way up and off the screen, just like so. And what's interesting about them is that they never shoot above water. So as long as you're above water, you're completely out of harm's way. Now you'll also notice that this fish spawn right there. There are a couple different ways of dealing with that. One way I recommend is just spawning him in, jumping up here, and then swimming right behind him. That means you don't have to deal with him down here. And then also ducking on this this sea floor right here, just like so. You'll typically avoid their projectiles. But again, Ninja Gaiden syndrome. You can despawn guys, then you can respawn them. Despawn them, respawn them. So what I like to do is despawn them, respawn them, and then jump over onto this platform right here. Again, their projectiles don't shoot above water, so I just let them both sort of time out and go off the screen just like that. Then I fall down to the left. The reason I do that is there's a turret guy right there, and his projectile has a tendency of hitting me. And that's one example where you can't duck his projectile. A lot of turret guys like that can have their projectiles ducked. One thing I'm going to do here is just demonstrate this again. You can bump your head on this second ceiling right here, and you'll dodge this fish, just like so. And then I like to hit these guys from a distance with the shurikens, and then try to hit these guys. Hope that their projectiles don't hit me in the head. Usually, 9 times out of 10, they go right over your head, but sometimes there's a fluke with the hit detection, and you will get smacked in the face with their gun projectile. So again, I'm just going to let them, flutter their way off the screen, just like so. Just wait. Now fall down. This guy's going to spawn back in. There's not really anything you can do about that. But again, I duck on the floor, and then I just attack, like so. There are 2 spears right here, which I'm not going to use. But yeah, this is our second boss. What you want to do on this guy is smack him in the face, avoid his 3-way projectile, and then duck his gray shot. You'll notice how it spreads out into a bunch of different shots. But just duck it. That's all you have to do. So just duck, just like that. And you'll see why I really like the chain whip in this game. Like, I can keep a distance. I don't have to get up too close like I would with the sword or the spear. And it actually feels a little bit like Castlevania when you play. You can attack multiple times in the air. And sometimes you can even move backwards, in the air. It's pretty neat. So I definitely like the game, mechanically speaking. So this level has a couple of bugs like this that just they usually dive bomb you, but they don't always go directly for you. Sometimes they'll just go underneath you like that. But you always want to just, when they appear on the screen, just wait. Just see where they're going to go. Whether you attack them or not, it's going to depend on where they actually go. So they do not always target you 100%, but sometimes they do. So you need to watch out for that. So here's our sword. The sword is a very short weapon with a really weird hitbox, so it's a good weapon to try to challenge yourself with. But again, I'm going to use the dragon. That's the special form for the sword, and it's going to allow me to just skip right through this level and save a couple minutes on my run. I'm not trying to speed run, but it's kind of nice for a Let's Play. I can just, blitz right through the game really quick and show you some fun strategies that you can use for yourself. Like this might be a level some people might struggle with, but they can just blitz right through it and get to the later levels that are harder to learn. Like even this level right here is tougher to learn. So, okay, so lots of pink enemies here. And, a lot of these guys start shooting spread shots, just like so. We're going to jump onto that platform, go ahead and just target this guy, try to get rid of him. I'm going to go ahead and try to kill the guy up top too, because you notice that there's a chain there, and the chain will give me an extra life because I'm using a chain already. Now you have to be careful with these guys because their patterns are a little random in terms of whether they walk to the left or right or back and forth. So yeah, you have to watch out for that. You can try to make this jump. It's a little tricky. I do recommend the bottom route. It's safer. So if you're on the bottom route, there's no way to get up. Oh, but wait, except if you charge, just like we did earlier, to get that sword on the first level. So you can just bring yourself right up to the top, just like that. And then there we go. So this is where they start introducing really fast enemies. And from here on out, there's a lot of fast guys like this. So you really need to memorize where they are, just like so. And there's going to be one right here in the middle platform, so just go ahead and kill him. Another one up top. Sometimes you can despawn them, but it doesn't look like that's happening here in this case. For this part right here, you can just press down and A to drop down, just like so. And there's this guy. He usually despawns. These ones do not, but sometimes they'll bounce back and forth and just land themselves into a pit. And then as long as they go off screen just like that, you don't have much to worry with. Now there's another one that's going to spawn in, so I want to jump and attack like that. I didn't do it quite right, but it was sloppy, but it was still good enough. So for this boss right here, I want to hit him a couple times and then bait him over to the left-hand side and then duck his first attack and then jump. Duck his attack again and then jump over him this time because he always does a spread shot afterwards. Then you bait him back to the right-hand side, bait him back to the left, and then you just rinse and repeat. This actually preps you for the final boss. It's actually a very similar pattern to what you have to deal with on the final boss. Not as complex, but it's still, the timing's very strict on this one. So you basically duck under his high melee attack, and then jump. So the timing is strict, but that's basically the pattern. So this is an interesting level here. It's actually multi-tiered. I mean, a lot of levels are multi-tiered, but this one just looks interesting because there's a battleship here, right? You can jump up here, you can jump on the middle, you can jump down into the water. One thing I didn't mention about water is if you hold down, you'll actually swim downwards faster. You do swim in this game. There just isn't a swimming animation. You can tap A to jump back up. But yeah, multi-tiered here, just like so. It's pretty interesting stuff. And these are the mechs I was talking about, where that I'm just going to try to skip. There's just a bunch of them. They take a lot of hits, and I'm not going to worry about it. So just wait for these guys to shoot and then attack, just like so. Now, I do make an exception for this mech right here, because he shoots a three-way projectile spread shot, and he does actually turn around and target you. So I like to make sure I get rid of him so I can just walk under this guy in safety, wait for these turrets, kill them, just like so. Kill that one. And then I like to drop down here and destroy these gunners, just like this. Because the gunners, they do shoot in all directions. They will target you if you're to the right-hand side of them. So I want to make sure that I don't get targeted. I like to kill this guy right there, skip that turret, not turret, but that mech. Kill that turret, kill this guy, and then we can jump over this mech as well, just like that. That's why we jump over the mechs. It saves us a bit of time. Otherwise, it takes like 10 or 12 hits or something crazy like that, maybe more with the chain. You kill them faster, obviously, with the spear or the staff, I mean, or the sword. But again, I like sticking with the chain whip here. There's going to be a canister. And what I like to do is just wait for it to just fly right past me, just like so. And now what I want to do is land in between the third and fourth pipe there. It's going to spawn an enemy, just like so. And then you can get past it like that. If you go a little too early and spawn him, you'll actually spawn twice, just like that. So one thing I do like about this game and the Ninja Gaiden syndrome with how it spawns enemies is I can practice sections like this over and over again. So we're going to spawn him, move forward, and then kill this canister real quick. Get rid of this guy. Now, there's going to be another guy right here, which is always tough for me to deal with. But thankfully, that was a good pattern. That's one of those enemy types where they just kind of move back and forth randomly. So that is one of those parts with some RNG. For this part, I'm just going to kind of wait. And then go ahead and attack this guy just like that. More enemies spawn in real quick, so I just take my time here. I inch the screen forward. And now I intentionally jump up, land on the left-hand side of this platform to attack this guy. This is another section you can just practice over and over, just like this. So land on the left-hand side of the platform, just stand and attack. Don't jump and attack, just stand and attack. So just like this. We're going to go ahead and grab this to get an extra life, and then there's two canisters. I like to kill the first one, and then jump over the second one, just like that. I can try to kill the second one, but again, my chain whip isn't the most powerful thing. So, yeah. Now for this boss, you want to smack him on the left-hand side, just like so. He's going to do a gray shot, just like this, and then we try to jump through his spread shot like that. I really don't like this boss at all. Getting through that spread shot is a major pain. And then this guy also has a really big hitbox too. I've died a bunch of times just not even like touching him. So yeah, if you do that correctly, you can sort of quick kill him just like that. Otherwise he'll start coming out really fast and he's a lot harder to hit. And the spread shot is just very frustrating to deal with. But this first part of this level, not a whole lot, not a whole lot going on. Just kill those guys, no fast enemies to deal with. But we do want to focus on this gunner right here because you will have some fast enemies appearing above the water. So I want to stay under the water, just like so. Kill the fast enemies as they come out. I'm just inching the screen forward slowly. And there's another one right there, and there's another chain. This is another reason why I like having the chain, is I get a ton of extra lives. And there's going to be another enemy spawning right here. Boom. That's one of those memorization points. You definitely want to memorize that. And then what I like to do is, this is another memorization part. Land on the top of the house, and then just whip this guy, and then whip that guy, and then whip this guy right here too. Or just let him disappear. Same with this guy. Sometimes he'll just despawn himself, and he did. So this part right here, I want to jump over and just stay right here. That guy just bounces right over your head. So guaranteed 100% of the time. More fast enemies spawning above water, so I'm trying to stay under the water. Or in the water, I should say. And I can come up a little bit and try to attack those fast enemies, but again, I'm just taking my time. By the way, this is the second to last level. We're already at the end of the game, basically. It's crazy. And that's it. So stage 5-2. Oh, stage 5-1 boss, I should say. So this guy is actually kind of interesting. Like a lot of other bosses in the game, you can bait the projectiles into a specific direction. And so you'll notice that they just kind of target you wherever you are. So what I like to do is try to jump every now and then to try to bait the projectiles upwards, which makes them easier to dodge. Just like so. So jump, bait the projectiles up. You can hit them on the ground. You don't have to actually jump and attack them. But I just prefer to be jumping because I want the projectiles to get baited upwards. Not diagonally like that. If I was in the corner and he did that attack, I would have died. I wouldn't have been able to avoid that. That's why you want to jump, make sure the projectiles kind of go where you are on the screen, which is in the air at the time. Alright, so lots of little bugs here, so I like to inch my way forward and kill each bug one at a time, otherwise you get overwhelmed. These guys, unlike earlier bugs in the game, will actually come back after you if they pass you. So that's why you want to take these guys out one by one. Now we've got these scissor enemies. They like to do a spread shot and then just fly off the screen, but sometimes they'll actually fly back. Seems to be kind of random, so you've got to watch out for that. And I like to jump over this one right there, and we can take the bottom route here. Just like so, kill some guys as they spawn in. I like to kill all these blue guys right here because they do shoot projectiles that target you. And we have more bugs right here. So here's the first one. I'm going to jump and swipe that one. Just like so. Attack these scissor type things. And for this part, I like to inch my way forward because you have a bunch of these guys. Ooh, see, that was a big mistake. That scissor guy right there, I knew he was there, and normally I try to go for him, and I didn't do that, because I still don't have this game memorized 110%, but that was my fault completely. But it's okay. So we get to demonstrate this again. Another scissor guy right there. I can actually speed up and actually kill that guy before he actually does his thing. So we're just going to jump over him, come on down here like so, kill that gray guy. Kill these guys again because, like I said, they have projectiles that aim for you. Here's another bug, and just like before, swipe that one proactively, just like that. Kill that scissor guy, kill this guy, and kill that scissor guy. Whew. This is actually putting me on edge, man. This game has a tendency of doing that. Alright, this is pretty much it. This is the last part. So we got a scissor guy, but watch out for that gray guy. That was scary. I was trying to take my time because he does a little bit of a circular 360-degree shot. So I'm trying to just let him do his thing. And that's what I was talking about with the scissor guys. They just come right back. It's very scary. It's very scary. Alright, so this is our final boss. It's actually a two-phase boss fight. And what I like to do is he takes a lot of hits with the chain whip. And so I do a bunch of damage, you know, in the beginning, just like so. I don't know exactly how many hits he takes, but it's a lot. But about halfway through, I like to stop attacking him, and I prefer to attack him on one side of the screen or the other. And the reason for that is when he changes into his second form, he always does a spread shot, and if you're in a corner, you cannot avoid it. It's pretty much impossible to avoid it. So we're gonna go ahead and just wait, bait him to one side of the screen or the other. So like I said, the stage 3 boss actually gives you practice against this boss. It's a very similar pattern. And again, I'm just gonna wait to get him on one side of the screen or the other. There we go. Now he's gonna do his spread shot. And sometimes you can get a couple hits in when he transforms like this. Boom, just like that, spread shot. Now, just like the stage 3 boss, we're gonna bait him to one side of the screen. And he's gotta duck and then jump. Duck and then jump and then spread shot, just like the stage 3 boss, except this is a much more dangerous spread shot. So duck and then jump, and then duck and then jump over, avoid the spread shot, and then bait him back to the right, just like so. Duck and then jump, duck and then jump, spread shot, so move to the other side of the screen, and then just more of the same. Duck and then jump, duck and then jump over, spread shot. And he's almost dead. And there we go. We just beat Ninja Crusaders for the NES. We died once or twice, but still not a bad run overall. This game, despite me knowing it pretty well, there's still some parts that put me on edge, like on that final level in particular, because some enemies just come out so fast, you have to literally have everything memorized in this game. And if you don't have it memorized, you're going to be put on edge like I was, and you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to die. And you will die very fast, because it's one-hit kills in this game, as you guys know. So ends another chapter in the glorious legend of the ninja. Until next time. So, yeah, that is Ninja Crusaders, guys. Now, one thing that is kind of cool about this game, aside from being able to play with different weapons and have different strategies and whatnot, is this game does loop. I don't know how many times it loops, but if I hit start right here, it'll actually end up throwing me right back into the game with a harder mode, basically. Enemies take way more hits to kill. You still keep your score and whatnot, so if you're playing for high score, the game does loop and loop and loop. I assume it just keeps looping. I don't know if it keeps getting harder, but there is a point where it's probably going to force you to end up using things like the sword and the staff, because your regular weapons are just so weak by that point. But yeah, that is something I want to explore in the future. If you've looped this game before, let me know how many times it loops. Let me know if you've beaten the game on at least the second loop here, and if it loops and gets more difficult past that. I wasn't really able to find much information on that part on the internet before doing this video, but that is something I want to revisit in the future. So, but yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found this Let's Play to be entertaining and useful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is my new Let's Play format, so all my Let's Play videos are going to be like this from now on. If you like this format, definitely sub and stay notified for when I post new ones. For everyone already subbed, thank you for your continued support. And I guess until the next one, guys, take it easy.